Namaskar. I will be talking about Buddhism today. So, as we know, Buddhism is a very old religion which is being followed not only in India but in the entire world. So, first, we should have a look on the ancient history. In many aspects, in many respects, ancient India remains an unexplored field. In some areas, this is because of the dearth of historical resources. In others, because few people took an interest in studying the connections between available historical, political, and archaeological records in order to sketch out frameworks of the thought process of the world. When we study ancient India, because Gautam Buddha was the most radical social revolutionary in ancient Indian history, so it is very, very important to learn about Buddha and Buddhism. Buddha, born in a in a royal family as Siddhartha, had all the luxuries of life, but then he has to give up and became an ascetic. He wandered here and there for so many years, and after 7 years of wandering and his tapas, he attained enlightenment, and he gave an eightfold path to truth, which is very, very simple, which every individual can follow. And at the time when Buddhism came into being, that time the Hindu rituals and rites were so rigid that people wanted a break from that, and Buddhism gave them that break. Buddha gave them that break. Buddhism teaches love, Buddhism teaches compassion, Buddhism teaches reality, and the first thing which Buddhism says is no expectations. If expectations won't be there, there won't be any sorrow. So, this eightfold path which Buddha designed is still very relevant. That's why, after he passed away around 2500 years back, still Buddhism is prevalent in most of the parts of the world, mainly in India, China, Japan, Sri Lanka, Burma, Vietnam, Cambodia. You will find Buddhism everywhere. Even lot of Buddhism monasteries, Buddhism temples, the chaityas and viharas, which were initially established for the Buddhism monks, they are still there, and still people are following the same tradition which Buddha has taught. If you go to Himachal Pradesh, you will find very beautiful Buddhist monasteries. Even in Tibet, even in Ladakh, there are beautiful monasteries which speak about Buddha's life, which speak about Buddhism. So, when we talk of Buddha, people, they portray Buddha as a religious figure, but according to me, more than a religious figure, we should see him as a political thinker and a political philosopher, because at that time when Buddhism flourished in India, that time the ancient India was divided into little kingdoms, and Buddha was very intelligent. He had a very good impression on all the rulers, and he was like a father figure to them, and whatever conflict they had in their personal lives or even in their political political affairs, many people, they consulted Buddha for that. Like, for example, Ashoka, he was a great follower of Buddha, and after this Kalinga war, a great transformation happened inside Ashoka's heart, and he followed the path of ahimsa, non-violence, which Buddha taught. So Ashoka worked a lot to propagate Buddhism in the entire world. When we see Buddha, he he never said that you follow me, because in one of his quotes he very clearly mentions that even if I have said something, if you don't relate to it, then try to find your own truth. Don't follow me blindly. So he never wanted that he should have followers. He should have, a big clan behind him. But it is the way of the word that you make a clan out of a personality. So same way this happened. Buddhism originated and Buddhism was propagated in the entire world by not only Buddha but lot of his followers after his death. Now, when we see the ancient India at that time, why Gautam Buddha, I think, is a political thinker? Because number one, there is no systematic study of Buddha's political philosophy that puts him in a list of ancient political thinkers. So I think we should read about it. We should try to explore the reasons that why people also see him as a political thinker and not only a religious figure. Next, Buddha, what I have come to know through my research and whatever little I have studied, Buddha continues to be discussed only as a religious preceptor. Hence, his ideas, the institutions that he created, and his personality have become mystified. Once he had proclaimed one of the Dash avatars of Vishnu, the entire Buddhist ideology got subsumed into Hinduism. So, this is also one point which brings Buddhism into Hinduism, because he is also coined as one of the Dashavatas of Lord Vishnu. As a result, Buddha is revered as a god and not analyzed as a political philosopher, though we must remember that he worked in a particular period and in a particular context. Many people forget that because this religious shadow overshadows the political thinker, Buddha as a political thinker. It is in the best interests of Indian society that he should be analyzed as a political philosopher within his own context and his contemporary discourses. So I will discuss about this in the next coming video. Thank you.